Cool. So come and stand on the middle of your mat. Have your weights or something ready. Something heavy. So feet hip width apart. And my ground is really bumpy. Surprise, surprise. So just finding some center here. So perhaps wiggle the toes a little bit. Press down into the mat with the feet. Tuck the pelvis under. Just start to grow tall. Try and not to just lift the ribcage and arch the lower back. So just try not to splay open the ribs. So try and keep this nice straight line with the spine coming up. Crown of the head up towards the sky. Shoulders down and back. Palms facing forwards. So if we take pelvic floor and we take TVA, we're going to pull in 100%. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. And then just keep trying. Just keep a normal breath, okay? So 10, 9, 8, 7, big squeeze. Keep pulling in 100%. 6, 5, 4. If you haven't breathed yet, you might need to breathe now. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just take a slow release. Then we're going to do these short, fast. Pull in quickly for 1 second and then a slow release. And we're going to do these 10 times. So pull in 100%. And slow release. Pulling in, slow release, and pulling in, slow release, pulling in, and slow release. Check that you've had a breath now. Pulling in, and slow release, pulling in. 4 to go. Slow release, 100%. Pulling in, slow release, pulling in, slow release, pulling in, slow release. Now go back to the 10 seconds, so pull in and hold, big squeeze, and we'll hold for 10 seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then slow release it down to 50%, so the engagement is all there. And we're going to go to the breathing exercise, and we have done this before. So scrunch up your fists. So that's the car park in Zola, because I actually am quite close to the car park. She might bark a little bit, but she will settle. Scrunch up your fist. Breathing in, lift. Breathing in, open. Breathing in, up. Breathing out, lower. Breathing in, and you can release the fingers, lower. Breathe in through the nose. You can breathe out through the mouth. Breathing in, and then release. Now just take it at your own breath now, so as fast as you like. If you've got like a little bit of frustration or anything you just need to get rid of in the body, any negativity, maybe you want to work quickly, or it's almost like chopping through the air on that release. Keep working with the nice tight fists. If you can, breathing in through the nose on the 3 in-breaths, and then breathing out through the mouth. And you can choose as well on that out breath just to go Keep an eye on the core, so keep engaging pelvic floor. Keep engaging TVA, pelvic floor, pelvis tucked under. So energizing, gets a bit of fresh oxygen in the body. Adding in then, I'll show you this way, is on that release, is just do a nice big sweep, fingertips down towards the mat. Bend the knees on that release. So just releasing all through that lower back. Hopefully should start feeling a little bit more energized now. 4 more. 3 in breaths, 1 out breath. Last one. Oh, a little bit of a shake. One of my favourite moves, that one. From Kundalini Yoga. So neck and shoulder glide next into a side bend. So lift one arm up, level with your shoulder, ear down. Draw in the core now, maybe hand there on the core. Check it's engaging. Then reach to the side. Recenter, lift up that arm. Take it over, draw into that side bend. And then over to the other side, lift. Check again, TVA is engaging. Ear down. Then reach to the side. Recenter. Reach up. Take it over onto your side bend. And then release. Now just check you're really pressing down in the mat with the feet. We're going to go 2 more on each side. Shoulder glide. Lift. Over onto that side bend. And then release. And again, the other side. Ear down, neck release. Try and get the other shoulder to relax. Shoulder glide, reach to the side. Recenter it. Lift up. Are we still engaging that TVA? Take it over. And last one. Adding in, if you choose on this one, a little bit more on your side bend. Just find one hand on top of the other hand, head in between arms. Couple of deep breaths here, really send the breath right into that side. And then release, last one. Lift, neck release. Shoulder glide, pull in that core, recenter. Lift up. Take it over, add in extra if you choose. 2 deep breaths. And then releasing out. We're going to go into our squats now, so feet hip width apart, bend knees, hips back into space. Now if you're happy to, you can bring in your weights at this point, so you're holding on to weights. Circle the arms all the way around. Then bring them down, big circles. Now be aware that when you're doing your circles, you're not arching in the lower back, because obviously lifting weight up over the head, we need to engage the core. We need to press down into the feet. Another thing that I notice as well is when I'm lifting weight over my head, my neck almost tenses, so be aware of length at the back of the neck, the position of the head. Are you dipping the head forwards, the neck forwards, to get the arms up? So just try and bring that awareness in, that the ears sit just over the shoulders, especially if you've got heavy weights. Breathe in, lift, breathing out, come down. Another car arriving. The joy of living at a guest house. There's never a moment's peace. 3 more, and then we're going to take these to wide squats. Keep an eye on the knees. Try not to let them pronate in. So then, super wide, and you can allow your feet to turn slightly out on this. And then a little bit different on the arms though. So we're going to take the weights down, touch the floor if you can, and then lift, and then the weights down through the middle. And then lift, shoulder press, and then down. Try not to hold the breath. Perhaps breathe in on a shoulder press. Or breathe out. Quite interesting, breathing 2 times out. Breathe out, breathe out. Breathe in on the squat. That's quite a nice way through it. Now just check you're switching the arms over, because you might find you always go with one arm first. So do a little switch on that. Unless you've managed to alternate the whole thing, great. Take a check on TVA, you're pulling in. Take a check on that head position again. Check the head hasn't come forwards. You've got the ears over the shoulders. Length at the back of the neck. 3 more. Last one. Bring the feet back in together, roll the shoulders down and back, and get yourself all back in line. So length at the back of the neck, pelvis tucked under, because we can sometimes lose all that when we go into our squats. Then it's scapula set with the weights if you can. Otherwise you can try that without the weights. Now be aware you're not arching in the lower back to get into the scapula set. Try and tuck the elbows into your sides. Tuck that pelvis under. Find pelvic floor, find TVA. Should feel that there, around the shoulders. Maybe if you're a little bit tight across the chest here, you might feel like getting a little bit of a stretch. 3 more. Breathing out. Poor Sola. So the next one is opposite leg to opposite arm left. So it's a lateral lift with the weights, and then just a leg lift to the side, and then recenter it. Then over to the other side, almost like a little pendulum. A lift, and then a lower. And you don't need to lift the arm up higher than the shoulder. So I can just go shoulder height. You'll feel like that should be enough. It's okay, Zola. makes for an interesting YouTube video, this one. Oh dear. 3 more. Try and keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. Last one. Okay, so next we're going to go for a deadlift. So it's take the leg behind you, lean your weight forward. So lean your chest, your shoulders forwards, and then you can go down, touch the floor with the weights, and then lift back up. So option here to alternate each one, because that is actually going to be harder because you've got to re-stabilize quicker. So you might want to do 4 on one side, 4 on the other. So option there. Otherwise go, see if you can go kind of straight into alternating. It's me falling all over the place. You can bring in a high knee, drive back. High knee, drive back. Little bit of a softening in the knee. So we're not kind of extending the hamstring too much. We're feeling a little bit of a stretch in the hamstring, but not so much that we've got a totally straight leg there. Glutes engaging, pelvic floor pulling in, TVA pulling in. 3 more. And last one. So, placing the weights down for a sec. Just a little bit of different thing, because just turning off the sensors again. Close your eyes. Balancing on one leg. Hold for 10 seconds. Find pelvic floor, find TVA, squeezing in the glutes. Try and think about those ears just sitting over the shoulders to get that length there at the back of the neck. So then from there we're going to our 10 heel lifts. So just roll the weight over the ball of the foot and lower. Now if you want to progress this, you could put your weights into your heel lifts. So these are your heel lifts. We're just rolling to the ball of the feet and then lower. So basically just putting a little bit of weight into the ankle, strengthening. But again, you don't need to. You could just be working with the balance here. Try and get the glutes to squeeze, the core to engage. Just about 10 of these. Three. And 2. 1. Then we're going to just literally going to switch sides. So over onto the other leg. Close your eyes, count to 10. Drawing in the core, tuck the pelvis under. Shoulders relaxed. Then when you're ready, you've got your heel lifts, and again you might want to put in your weights if you did it on the other side. Roll onto the ball of the foot, lift up the heel, doesn't have to be super high. Notice if you're wobbling in the knee with this one, so just see if you can reduce any wobble, so that knee really kind of just, you just go over the foot, the knee stays in line. keep working with TVA. About 4 more. Then release from there, put the weights down, a couple of stretches before we go down onto the mat. So just take like a big stride. Bend the front knee, we're hip width, so we're not here on a balance beam. Bend the front knee and then just ground through that back heel, and the foot can turn slightly out if you choose. It's a calf stretch. Then add in, so lifting, it doesn't actually really matter which side, but if you want the kind of hip flexor stretch, the leg that's straight at the back, lift up that arm, and then take your tricep stretch, so either pushing down the elbow or reaching thumbs towards each other and try and find your bind. And we haven't done that one for a couple of weeks, so see how that goes. Maybe you just work with the stretch. And you can think about the back of your head pushing into your forearm. So fine length there at the back of the neck. Just one more breath. Then all you're going to do is undo the bind on the arms, straighten the front leg, and then just bring your chest forwards and send your kind of hips back, but square out your hips, because the hips will want to wiggle and tilt with that one. This is your hamstring stretch. So you almost want like a flat back on this. So think about lifting and pushing your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades together. And either you can place your hands on your thighs, super flexible, you might get down to your shins. And this is your hamstring stretch, you'll feel it on that front leg. Keep thinking about squaring those hips. Keep thinking on that one, and you can go with the core here as well, so you can engage pelvic floor. Pull in on TVA. Try and get the length at the back of the neck, so you don't actually look forward, so you kind of look down towards the front of the mat. One more breath. Then just slowly bring yourself up. You can bend your knees on that. Swap sides. So we go with the calf stretch. Hip width, you can allow that foot to turn out, bend the front knee, push down through that back heel. It's almost like tucking the pelvis under here, isn't it? Drawing in the core. Then the leg that's straight behind, you can lift up that arm, take your tricep stretch, so grab hold of your elbow. It's almost like you're reaching your fingertips down your spine. Try not to arch in the lower back too much, so keep coming back to tucking the pelvis under. And then you might just see if you can reach on your bind. Try not to lose the posture at the back of the neck here, so keep the length there. And just enjoy that stretch on the calf muscle. Pulling in through the core. Pushing the back of the head into the forearm. One more breath. Then again, we just straighten the front leg, release the arms, and then come forwards with the chest, bring the shoulders down and back, then think about squaring up these hips. Working with the hips. Find pelvic floor, find TVA, and then just feel this hamstring stretch. Think about this flat back position. Think about the length at the back of the neck, so eye gaze going down towards the front of the mat. And you kind of have to hoover underneath the feet a little bit, so scrunching up the toes, just work with the balance. One more breath. Then bending the knees, coming back up to standing, and then just 2 slow roll downs, so chin into chest, slide the hands down, bend the knees. Come down, brush fingertips on the mat, then slowly uncurl. We'll do one more, we'll take it to downward dog, so chin into chest. Soften the knees, walk the hands forwards, spread the fingers, spiral biceps towards each other. Send the hips up to the sky. You can bend the knees in here. Send the chest towards the thighs. If you want a little bit more, take it to a one-legged dog, so bend in one knee, then extend, turn that foot to the side of you, so it really opens out the hip, and then you can really straighten out that leg. squeezing all the glutes, and then you can just have a go on the other side. Bending in the knee, lift, then straightening the leg, squeezing on the glutes. We'll do 2 more of those, otherwise you're just there hanging out with dog, or maybe a puppy dog. If you're going for your leg lifts, you go up, but then square out the shoulders. So notice if the shoulder's really twisted with you. So try and get the twist in the body. The hip opens, but the shoulders stay squared to the front of the mat. Release, we'll go 1 more on the other side. Bending in the knee, extend. Then work with the shoulders. The twist is in the body. 1 more breath.